Hi, I'm Stas Margaronis, and this is Rebuild the United States, and you can find us at RBTUS.com. Today, I'm talking to Nick Conaway, and Nick and I have been talking about the issue of housing for younger Americans and how more difficult that has become in recent years. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. Nick, we've been talking about housing and the challenges for younger Americans and what that looks like. Could you tell me from your side, what does the housing situation look like for you?
The the housing situation for me is scary and unsettling because I what I have to reference is my parents who bought a house 30 years ago, and they were a single income house. My mom took care of us kids, and they were able to afford a very nice 3 bedroom house on a half acre relatively easy versus now, from what I see, you have to have a multiple income house and still barely can afford to buy a house in today's day and age.
Okay. Now, we talked about the differences between then and now, and one of the differences is incomes. And you and I were talking earlier, but let me come in on this one. I was working as a warehouseman at Thrifty Drug Company uh, in 1982 in Los Angeles, and I made $37,000 a year as a warehouseman. And that income today translates with, so 37,000 included my benefits, which I had health care, I had dental, I actually even had eye care. Now we were union, so we were in the longshoremen's union, so better than some people. But my point is that when I went into the housing market to look for a house, my income in today's dollars was nearly $100,000. And today, what would you say? I mean, among people that you know, what are people making on an annual basis?
They're making an annual basis from I'd say 60 to 80,000 dollars on the high end, which $80,000 from the research that I've done can get you a house that's approximately $350,000.
Okay.
Right. So here where I am in the state of California, the average house I want to say is at least $550,000 and up for a single family. So the math doesn't equate to where myself as a young individual and my peers and my friends are having a hard time and having to rent and you know want to look for a house, want to live that American dream that our parents have lived and buy the house with the white picket fence and have the family, and we're not able to do so because of the state that the housing market's in today.
And part of the problem, of course, is that there are also not a lot of houses to choose from, right?
Yeah, the amount of houses that are available is not nearly what it used to be. And it's unfortunate that that's the case.
Okay. So even if there were two of you working together with incomes that you're making right now, could you buy a house?
Not without assistance, not without loan or assistance from family or friends or some sort of assistance.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the rental situation. How is that, and what kind of issues do you have in terms of being a renter?
So, in terms of being a renter, is I for me, I feel stuck. I feel stuck in the fact that me and my partner we pay $2,000 a month for a single bedroom apartment where we're surrounded by a bunch of other people, and that $2,000 a month, if we could afford, would be better off going to a mortgage like my parents and you have done, where instead of paying that rent, we're paying our mortgage to be able to own our own home, which I see a lot of younger people struggling with, and it seems like we're going in the direction of renting everything rather than owning it, and it's forcing us into a position where, you know, we never have our own home.
Gotcha. And if one of you happens to be out of work for a period of time, then what happens if you're trying to make the rent?
Then it gets even scarier. Then it's a struggle. Then it's a situation where we have to hopefully have people to rely on that can help us out. And it gets even tighter. It gets even scarier.
Gotcha. And that's how come some more and more Americans are homeless, because some of them don't have that backup to back up into, right?
Yeah, that it
Yeah,
puts people in a situation where they don't have an exit strategy and they end up on the streets or whatnot.
gotcha. Nick Conaway, I want to thank you very much for your time. I'm Stas Margaronis. We've been talking about the challenge of housing for younger Americans and how it's getting tougher and tougher and how we need to do something about that. This is Rebuild the United States, and you can find us at rbtus.com. Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.